Hi, Wood Creek Bears. Today we're reading our book Dragons in a Bag, and we're going to be on chapter 7. Here goes. Ma was right. The guardhouse moves through time and space the same way the cars on a 90-year-old Cyclone rattle along the wooden tracks. My hands reach out for something to hold, but the round walls of the guardhouse are smooth. There are no levers to pull or buttons to push. We just swerve and swoop for the longest minute of my life. Are we there yet? I ask breathlessly. Almost, Ma says. Then she leans down and whispers in my ear, You're doing great, Jax. We're going to land just like an airplane, so brace yourself. When my ears pop, I grab hold of an iron ring on the inside of the back door. It feels like we're actually picking up speed. Hold on, Ma shouts seconds before we plummet to the ground with a shuddering thud. I swallow hard and take a few deep breaths. You okay, Jax? Ma asks. Her strong hands are still gripping my shoulders, keeping me upright. I open my eyes, and the sealed guardhouse is still pitch black. My knees feel a bit wobbly, but I let go of the iron ring in the door. I don't know if I'm okay, but I'm here to help, not be helped. So I clear my throat and I say, Ready, Ma, with more confidence than I actually feel. Ma takes her hands off my shoulders. With a grunt, she pushes open the door. It's hot. That's the first thing I notice. And it's dark, even though it doesn't seem to be nighttime. Ma gently pushes me ahead of her, so I'm the first one to step out of the guardhouse. My feet sink into spongy soil, and I start to sweat almost right away. It feels just like the inside of the greenhouse at the botanical garden. The plants around us look tropical. It's so humid, even the leaves are sweating. Strange squawking sounds come from the leaves above. I think we're in some sort of a jungle. Is this where the dragons live? I ask over my shoulder. The look on Ma's face isn't reassuring. She stands in the doorway of the guardhouse and scowls at the world around us. Ma starts muttering something under her breath. I watch as she runs a finger along the dewy surface of a glossy green leaf. She sticks her finger in her mouth, pulls it out, and concludes, Ain't no magic here. That's not good. We left Brooklyn because there wasn't enough magic there either. Are you sure? I ask. Maybe we should ask somebody. Ma looks at me sideways. You see anybody around here to ask, Jax? No, but wasn't someone supposed to meet us? I ask. That's usually how it works, Ma says. I think we must have overshot the mark. There's no gear shift inside the guardhouse, but I'm hoping Ma knows how to put it in reverse. Let's just go back, I suggest. Ma shakes her head. That's the wrong direction. We need to go across, not back. Magic left this earth a long time ago. We won't find it in the past. Can you make the guardhouse go across? Sure. Parallel realms exist in different dimensions. Time travel is like whizzing down a slide. Crossing dimensions is more like skipping double dutch. You gotta wait for the right moment and slip in between the ropes. I swat at the biggest mosquito I've ever seen. My clothes are sticking to my skin, but I'll get eaten alive by bugs if I take off my shirt. How do you steer that thing? With my mind, Ma says absently. When it becomes clear she's not going to offer further explanation, I prompt Ma to say more. So you just think about a place and that's where it goes? Pretty much. Transporters respond to the intention of the traveler. I sure wasn't thinking about this place, were you? No. Ma wipes her forehead with the back of her hand. Whew. It's hotter here than Brooklyn in July, twice as humid. Ma reaches up to plump her snowy halo of hair, which is starting to droop a bit. Well, since we're here, we might as well have a look around, she says. I'm not sure that's such a good idea, but I trail after Ma as she pushes aside the plants with leaves that are bigger than my head. She uses her cane to beat back the dense undergrowth. After a while, the vegetation thins, and the ground beneath becomes rocky and hard. I'm so busy checking for snakes and other creepy crawlies that I bump into Ma as she suddenly stops. Well, now, that's something you don't see every day. I peer around Ma and gasp. We're standing at the edge of a steep cliff, and in the distance is an erupting volcano. Dark clouds of ash spew out of the top, and red lava snakes down the side of the mountain. Far below us, I can see creatures fleeing from the eruption. And even from a distance, it's clear that they're dinosaurs. The distant herd of long-necked sauropods doesn't worry me, but then Ma points at something in the sky. And I look up in time to see a flock of pointy-beaked pteranodon soaring overhead. Even though they're high above us, I duck and tug at the belt of Ma's overcoat to pull her back from the edge of the cliff. Maybe we should stay close to the guardhouse, I suggest. Ma opens her purse. The dragons have started to screech and whine, but Ma ignores them and takes out the gold pocket watch instead. She hands me the bag and said, "Hold this for me while I check our coordinates." I take the bag from Ma. "I thought that was a watch," I say, as Ma flips open the gold case. "It is," she says, "but it's also a compass." That's odd. What's odd? I ask anxiously. We seem to have gone back, way back in time. Ma glances at the tropical landscape and concludes, this must be the Mesozoic era, Jurassic or Cretaceous period, I'd say, judging from the flora and fauna. What do you think, Jax? Really not my specialty, I say, trying not to think of all the ways people get eaten in the dinosaur movies I've seen. Why did we land here? I thought we were delivering dragons, not dinosaurs. There are certain similarities between species, Ma says thoughtfully, but you're right, Jax. This isn't our destination. I didn't intend for us to come here, but Ambrose did say the transporter was acting up. Ma clicks the compass shut and slips it into her coat pocket. Then she squints at something beyond the edge of a cliff. She points with her cane and asks, "You see that?" I take a small step forward and crane my neck to see what Ma's pointing at. Something is sparkling on a narrow ledge about 5 feet below the cliff's edge. "Jump down and grab that for me, Jax." I stare at Ma like she's lost her mind. But then I remember that I did sign up to be her helper, so I hand her back her purse and kneel down to get a closer look. "What is it?" I ask. "I don't know," Ma replies, "but it could come in handy down the road." When I hesitate, Ma adds, "The sooner you grab it, the sooner we can get back to the transporter." I scan the red sky for more hungry pteranodon, and then I take off my book bag, take a deep breath, and sit down with my legs dangling over the edge of the cliff. I check for footholds and then flip over and start lowering myself down. Ma squats at the cliff's edge, urging me to take my time, but I just want to get this over with. Last year, Vic and I got to try rock climbing at our school. We wore harnesses in case we fell, and there were mats on the gym floor. I don't have a harness now, and it's a long way down. I focus on making one move at a time, and before long, I'm able to drop onto the ledge. "It's just a couple feet to your left," Ma says. There are tufts of vegetation sprouting out of the cliff. I grab hold of a clump of grass with one hand, and with the other, I reach for the sparkling shard. I tug as hard as I can without losing my balance, but the crystal doesn't come out of the cliff. "It's stuck," I tell Ma. She frowns and then lowers her cane so I can grab hold of it. "Poke it with this," she suggests. "That might loosen it." I jab the stick at the cluster a couple of times, and sure enough, part of the glittering rock comes loose. I toss the biggest shard up to Ma. She catches it and then reaches down for the cane. I tuck a smaller fragment of the rock into my pocket and start climbing back up the cliff face. It's easier going up than down, and Ma helps pull me over the edge once I'm within reach. "Is that a diamond?" I ask once I'm back on my feet. "Quartz," Ma says as she examines the hunk of rock. "Is it valuable?" I ask as I slip my arms through the strap of my book bag. Before Ma can answer, the ground beneath our feet shudders as the volcano belches out lava and more smoke. My eyes grow wide, and even Ma looks worried. She slips the shard into her pocket and says, "Let's go, Jax." Ma doesn't have to tell me twice. I take the lead and plunge back into the jungle, swatting bugs and branches out of my way. Birds in the treetops screech, and I get the feeling it's not me and Ma they're worried about. There's something else in the jungle. I can't see it, but I can sense something moving along with us. If it is a dinosaur, I sure hope it's a vegetarian, like a triceratops, and not a meat eater like a T-Rex. I glance over my shoulder at Ma, but she just yells, "Keep going!"